does it feel to be a horseman and finally things are back on schedule after last year's crazy year?
Well, I mean, I think for everyone, horsemen or just people in general, are starting to feel better about everything, and things are starting to get back to some normalcy. So yeah, it's been a year that's presented a lot of challenges for a lot of people, and in the horse business, we've been pretty fortunate that we've been able to keep things going somewhat normal in a lot of cases, and so we're thankful for that. No, I mean, the travel restrictions are so difficult. We were finishing up the end of the Saratoga meet while they were running the Derby, which sounds really strange to even say, but so thankfully Wayne Lucas helped us out and took care of the horse and did a great job for us, and unfortunately the horse didn't run as well as we'd hoped, but we gave him a shot.
What do you think about the way your horse is trained over the track today and have been training?
Been really happy with the way everyone shipped in. First breezes over the track were very good, and came out of it in good order. So we'll kind of keep a close eye on the weather this week and decide when we're going to go with our final preps. But very happy so far.
He got right neck and neck with Soup and Sandwich right there. Did he show you something when he got right there, and then all of a sudden, boom, there was that other gear?
Yeah, I mean, I love the way Nona Jinda finished in the Florida Derby, and it seemed like he just kind of lowered down and took off the last 16th of a mile. He's really improved since we put blinkers on him. He's getting a little more focused. He's maturing and just getting a little more professional in each start. So we're excited about that, and excited about the mile and a quarter, which I think will suit him perfectly.
Does it seem strange having 4 horses in the Derby and John Velasquez isn't riding one of them?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be riding Malathat in the Kentucky Oaks for us. So yeah, I think one of the biggest impacts of the pandemic was consistently keeping jockeys on horses, and starting back right after the Florida Derby last year, a lot of guys either took some time off and didn't ride, or some guys stayed at Gulfstream, some guys took a hiatus, some guys came here. So it and then with the restrictions of guys going out of town and coming back, it's really I would say in the last year we've had more rider changes than probably the previous 20 years combined.
Just describe the transition. This has been sort of weird for you this year, because I guess a month ago maybe it looked like you wouldn't have any, or might not have any. You went from 0 to 4. What was that like for you?
Well, I mean, we looking at it, we felt like we had some live horses coming into some final round preps, but that can go two ways, really well, or you can be left out. So when St. Hood finished second, we knew that he'd probably put himself in a position he'd be right on the bubble, and Nona Jinda, that was a big win, for a number of reasons, and then kind of had a pleasant surprise in the Wood. Although we felt both horses were training well enough to be competitive in there. When you run a 15 to 1 shot and a 70 to 1 shot, you're not necessarily expecting to finish first and second, but we weren't shocked based on the way we'd seen them train.
When it comes to Bourbonic and the Wood, and then now you look at this field, you can get pretty spread out. Does he have to be in a certain spot in order to be able to close?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to try to do the same thing. We'll sit back and make one late run, and the one thing I feel good about our group is I think they're all designed for the mile and a quarter. They're stoutly bred that way, and I think if we can get lucky and get good trips with them, I think they'll all hopefully be finishing up in the end.
What about Kendrick and his ability to ride him?
Well, I mean, first of all, he has a lot of confidence in the horse, and we had a clear strategy in mind in the Wood, and he wanted to sit back and save ground in the first turn and make one run, and he was able to do that, and he got a really good split at the top of the stretch. We had the horse's momentum going, and didn't have to alter course, just kind of kept his momentum built up, and gave him a perfect ride.
Has he ridden a lot for you over the years? Maybe when you run something at Parks, or?
Yeah, I mean, Kendrick won a lot of races all over for us in Pennsylvania before he came to New York. But in New York, he's done well for us. And really, when in November, when the Breeders' Cup, a lot of the guys were out of town, we put him on. I think he had 6 winners for us that weekend at Aqueduct, and so kind of picked up some momentum from there, and he was able to win the Aqueduct meet. And I think it was kind of a breakout meet for him, and he's carried the momentum over this year.
You mentioned the fact that he's run so many races for you, but this is kind of a different animal. Do you have a message, a different message, or just say, do your thing?
Yeah, no, we're gonna try to do the exact same thing we did in the wood and sit back and make one run. And of course, the challenge there is you're gonna have 19 other horses to try to weave your way through. But like I said, I mean, he's optimistic, and he's coming in with a great attitude, and he'll be up to the challenge.
Talk about your Oaks filly now with that. Her Ashland Stakes was pretty good performance heading into the Oaks.
Yeah, I mean, she's been a special filly since day one. Just joy to train, very professional, straightforward, able to break her maiden going 7, step up into a stake next time and win easily, and then had a pretty eventful trip in the Demoiselle on a sloppy track, and really just flew home the last part, and then took a little while to get ready. We were originally planning to run in the Gulfstream Oaks, and ended up in the Ashland. And I thought turning for home, she maybe had too much to do, but she finished the last quarter in 23-2, and just like I said, I mean, she's just been a joy.
Well, just the one race this year so far. What was the plan behind just the one race?
Well, we had a little setback in January, which held us up a little bit, and so we ended up thinking the Gulfstream Oaks would be our one prep 5 weeks out. And unfortunately, when Sheikh Hamdan passed away, we, out of respect for him, Rick Nichols asked that we not run any horses for 10 days. So that's how we ended up in the Ashland, and really worked out great. Now she's a Grade 1 winner, and she seemed to bounce out of it well. So I don't see the 4 weeks being an issue.
Todd, last question for me. What's it like just to be back here on these grounds, getting ready for this race?
Yeah, I mean, it's always exciting. It's great to be back here and have some live horses coming into some big races. That's what we're always hoping for.